Floyd Mayweather is actually going to reunite with Anthony Joshua for the upcoming Tyson Fury fight for all the marbles, all 4 belts. We know Floyd was ringside last December when Joshua knocked out Kubrat Pulev defending his 3 belts. And Floyd was seen giving Joshua tactical advice during the fight. He said, jab, champ, jab, jab, jab. And from what Floyd's saying, they spend quite a lot of time together. They talk all the time. We saw Joshua post-fight walk straight over to Floyd Mayweather. And Mayweather said he will reunite with the Londoner before the proposed fight for Undisputed. I wonder if he'll be in the entourage itself. Maybe not in the corner, but maybe just come out with Joshua. I don't know. Will he have a big role in the camp? I'm not sure. I don't think he'll want to disrupt the camp and step on toes necessarily and start taking over. I don't know about that. But then again, it depends. If Joshua trusts him to have a bigger role in the camp, then he will have a bigger role. I don't know. I'd say it's good news. I'd say it's positive. Remember, Floyd offered Deontay Wilder his services and he turned them down twice. Floyd says it's an interesting fight. Joshua has become stronger since losing to Ruiz. He says they both have a lot of experience, and they do have a lot of experience in between them. They do. Floyd likes Fury as well. He said he's met Fury on a few occasions, and he says he's a great guy, very interesting. He liked to see him sing after the fights. We know Floyd was impressed with how Fury outboxed Wilder in the first fight, even though he only got a draw. He was ringside. Is it more a psychological thing, getting Floyd more involved? And it could go 2 ways. Is it to kind of shake Fury's confidence a little? Oh, he's got Floyd with him. Give Sugar Hill and Fury something to think about, like, what are they doing over there? I wonder what they're strategizing. But then again, people are saying Fury is unshakable mentally, so that shouldn't affect him, according to them. Or maybe it could be psychological for Joshua to have him there. Because that's what boxing camps comprise of too. You have people around you who make you feel good and keep your spirits up. Bundini Brown had that kind of effect on Ali. Don't get me wrong, Bundini earned his keep in the camp because he later used to assist with training duties and wasn't just a hype man. As long as AJ doesn't lose sight that this ain't the Mayweather show, this is all about him beating Fury. Now we know Eddie has announced a fight. Frank Warren apparently wasn't too happy that he jumped the gun. They have a month or so to sort out a site and a venue. The fight is signed by all parties concerned. Tyson Fury apparently has a lot of people with their hands in the pie, as Eddie phrased it. With AJ signing his half of the contract, it's just AJ's signature, 258 management, which is AJ basically, but it needs to be on the signature, and Eddie Hearn. With Tyson Fury, it's Tyson, it's MTK, it's Bob Arum, and it's Frank Warren. Is this what Fury was talking about? There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes. He doesn't look happy for whatever reason. People are putting it down to the bipolar disorder, but to me, he doesn't look like he's happy. And I don't think it's because of the tune-up. I think he's using that not as an excuse, but he doesn't want to talk about his situation with his promoters and his management. That's what I feel. He said he wants a whole load of money before that fight is signed. What does he mean by that? Too much hands? Taking out too much? It's a 50-50 split, but he's probably thinking, look what AJ's going to get compared to what he's going to get and have to give out. I mean, they're getting the same amount, but how much is Fury having to sacrifice for getting in bed with the likes of Daniel and Bob Arum? As soon as the contracts were signed, Eddie put it out there in public straight away. And I know Arum's not happy. Frank Warren's not happy. Is Eddie kind of trying to make them commit to get the fight signed ASAP? Because the longer it goes, people are going to pull for Tyson Fury to get a warm-up. It seems Eddie wants to let the public know that he's just bang up for this. He wants to get it over the line straight away. And he wants the public to know, I'm not dragging my feet. Let's get it done. So a lot of it is damage control, perhaps, in case it all falls through. People are going to be asking, well, why was Frank and Bob so cautious while Eddie was very aggressive in trying to finalize the fight? So Frank and Bob are annoyed with Eddie, but they're not annoyed that Tyson Fury came out and almost said that the fight's not happening. Bob Arum, he told everybody to go F themselves when they was inquiring about the fight. Is that good PR for the fight? Maybe Eddie done what he thought he had to do. At times, it feels like Team Fury don't want to get it over the line for various reasons. It does. Go F yourself and get a life. This guy needs to be put in a corner and kept quiet as much as possible. Bob Arum. But in all truth, if they had an agreement to come out united and announce the fight, they have all right to be angry, really. The biggest problem, really, to me, is the sanctioning bodies. Because you got Usyk and his people talking about, if they don't get it together, I want my shot. Because they want that big payday against AJ. That's what they want, really. They know that Eddie and AJ don't really want to drop the belt. And just for the commercial value of the fight, there's going to be a lot of people who want to see the WBO belt there. To me, it wouldn't make no difference, but I can't just think about myself. Apart from the first Willie Monroe fight, Marvin Hagler was never conclusively beaten. And even in that fight, some people have Hagler winning. Hagler was finishing fast. Post-fight, Hagler said he's got a few things to learn, but I have a feeling that Willie already knows them. Basically saying that Willie had more experience and that's why he won. And he knocked out Willie twice after that. Just like he knocked out Boogaloo Watts. He avenged his first 2 losses. He had 3 fights with Sugar Ray Seales, the Olympic gold medalist from the 72 Olympics. One of them was a draw. And he rectified the draw against Antuofermo. The only loss or draw that he didn't rectify was Sugar Ray Leonard. The Boogaloo Watts loss, that was a bad decision. And the Sugar Ray Leonard loss was a controversial decision. It was hard to outfight Marvin up close. And it was hard to outbox him as well with that 75-inch reach. He was only 5'9", and often opponents would be shocked how they're getting hit when they seem to be out of range. Marvin's jab is one of the best jabs in the history of boxing. The jab used to bust faces up, it's put people on the canvas, and he could do it from either stance, left or right hand. Some people, for some reason, keep talking about Hagler's power like he didn't have power. He had power. I don't know where you're getting that from. 52 knockouts in 62 wins. You know what was telling is when I done the hangout, the hearing he had passed. And everyone had a similar story where they left messages saying, he was my favourite fighter. He inspired me to do better at a particular sport. Not necessarily boxing, but he inspired them to go harder at training, to work out harder. The editor for Boxing Monthly in the UK, Graham Houston, he said Hagler played a big part in HBO's rise. He remembers motels having signs in windows saying, "We have HBO," with an accompanying photo of marvelous Marvin Hagler. He was the face of boxing. He was a cash cow, but Ray was the draw, let's say, for when he did fight. Ray was the glamorous, flamboyant superstar. Hagler was a superstar, but he was also a working class hero amongst that demographic. He didn't kick over tables. I don't remember much profanity, but he was always in a menacing, intimidating frame of mind before every fight. Superbly conditioned, one of the best conditioned boxers, one of the best physiques in boxing, one of the best chins. Teddy Atlas eulogized Marvin, and he said the punches just bounced off him. He took on Mugabe when he was 25-0, 25 knockouts. Mugabe was the #1 contender, and Hagler took his best and took Mugabe out. He took on other punches like Thomas Hearns, he took him out too. Another 2 noted punches he faced on the Philly circuit was Cyclone Hart, a tremendous puncher, and Benny Briscoe. He outpointed Benny Briscoe. It was a cautious performance because he was a bit wary of Benny's power, and Marvin had a bad cut to protect as well. And when he beat Briscoe, he adopted Benny's moniker of the uncrowned champ. He went unbeaten for 11 years between 1976, when he lost to Willie Monroe, between then and when he lost to Ray Leonard. His first shot at the title was in November 1979 in Vegas against Antuofermo. Ray Leonard won the WBC title on that same card against Wilfred Benitez. Hagler could only get a draw with Antuofermo, very controversial draw. He fought 4 times in 1980, all wins. The 4th fight, he took the title from Alan Minter in London. Once again, that jab and his razor-sharp punches just shredded Minter to pieces. It was a non-bleeder anyway. Then obviously he had the disgraceful riots in the Wembley Arena, the Minter fans didn't take kindly to Hagler treating their champion with such contempt. He went on to rack up 12 successful defenses, finally losing to Leonard in '87. Former ring victim and ATG, Thomas Hearns seemed to set off a rumour that Marvin died due to the after effects of the COVID vaccine. His wife, Kay, was keen to dismiss this and said that Marvin died of natural causes.